Okay, I guess we're going to reconvene at 6:04. And we don't have any action to report out of closed session. So welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. It's going to be super fun. We got a tiger in the house, so
He can't sit down.
so yeah, we're going to work on it. Okay. So first we have item 8. We have approval of expulsion, student reference number 2223017. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Diane Grooms. Second by
Whoever.
Dwayne Wynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, we're going to have the pledge done by Mr. Lexi Conti.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the pledge. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, thank you, everybody. I guess at this time, we're going to do our recognition with the ASB Leadership Conference Awards. Here it comes. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So my name is Alicia Casey. Good evening to all. I'm the Director of Student Equity, Access, and Outcomes. And today we're going to have a recognition for our ASB Leadership Conference that we had on Friday, January 27th. So I think you guys are getting ready. Yep. Thank you very much. So on Friday, January 27th, we had our first middle school ASB Leadership Conference. Our theme was Vision and Voice and Leadership. Our middle school students came together for a day of learning, letting their voices be heard, and a fun time socializing and getting to meet other student leaders. This event could not have happened without the support of our superintendent, our site administrators from start to finish. We are also grateful to our family ambassadors and our secretary of the Student Equity Department, Beth Philemia, for working the event. Thank you also to Bare Bones, where we got the shirts and conference bags, and from Humberto, who fed us a delicious lunch. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Kaylin David. She's an ASB director at a middle school. And then we have some students that are going to share a little bit about it, and then we're going to recognize those who helped make this event happen. Click for me. Okay. All right, so just wanted to give you a little fact sheet. I like numbers, and we had 5 middle schools attend, which is incredible. The real goal of this was just unity and community, getting everyone on the same page. We had over 100 different ASB leadership students from grades 6 through 8 across the district. We had 7 different workshop choices, and including some of our amazing presenters here in the audience. We had 2 different high schools show up. We had Eastside High and Highland High School. Again, those advisors are sitting in our audience. So grateful for their mentorship. We had 2 trophies given. If you want to hold up that beautiful trophy, one of them is right here, community service trophy that New Vista got. We also had a school spirit trophy, which went to, was it Armagosa? Endeavor got it. Yes, it was such a hard decision. And we had lots of prizes. We had lots of team building activities, so the kids were competing, fun competition. We really just wanted there to be no barriers between the unity in our district. Not, oh, it's Armagosa versus Endeavor, oh, it's New Vista versus Paiute. It was all of us together for a common cause, for the common purpose of making our district a place where kids love learning. And we also had 3 kinds of tacos, very important fact right there.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So just some big takeaways and next steps. We want to continue with ASB collaboration and planning. Dr. Marietti has really been amazing with that, meeting with us monthly. We have Zoom meetings where we all log on and our students get to interact with one another. Our ASB advisors get to interact with one another, and we can set some common vision for what we want to see happening at our middle schools. As well as trickling down to our elementary schools, especially with schools like Linda Verde, which are K through 8. We want to have some intra-district community for students. Again, we don't want kids, we have a lot of transferring between our middle schools and kids who switch schools. We don't want there to be a feeling of this school is a rival to this school. We're all in the same district. We're all part of this common vision, which is creating a better school, but also a better community for the future. We want our students leaving inspired to build school spirit and positive climate. I know my students are so jazzed up after the conference. They have all these ideas. They left the conference ready to go, ready to start putting things into action, which was exactly the goal. And another next step is finishing revising our district dress code policy. Our next steps are to bring it, just to finalize the draft, bring it to our parent ambassadors, to the community, and to cabinet for review before we bring it to the board. And we're really proud of the work we've done. It's taken a lot of thought and a lot of conversation. And so just to have input from all the schools has been a really meaningful part of the process. And lastly, we've been talking about there's a Link crew program that the high schools use. It's a mentorship program. And we've talked about the effectiveness of that maybe coming down to our middle school level. It's called Web, which is like the baby version of Link. And we're possibly looking at training for all of our ASB directors. We are all in agreement that we're interested in this program. So as we learn a little bit more about that and see training dates, we'll share that with the board. And I wanted to share a little reflection from myself before I let my amazing students come up. I just want to say we did it. This happened. It was amazing. I'm honestly still processing everything from that day. The day was an enormous success. My heart and my mind were overflowing with pride, vision, and love. I have such a deep appreciation for everyone in this room and I'm sorry, I'm like emotional over it. Just everyone who was on the front lines, everyone who was behind the scenes. If you're familiar with Yiddish, the term verklempt came to mind, just being overwhelmed with emotion and having no words. That's what I thought of after the conference when I just thought about the beauty of seeing everyone across the district come together for our kids, to hear them, to see them, to value them, to celebrate them, to elevate them, and to encourage them. I know it's the start of something great. My personal word this year for myself is transformation. And one of the ways I want to see that manifest in my life is to transform our community through the power of sharing the best of everything we have to offer each other. We belong to each other, and every single person in our district matters as we pursue a shared vision of building a beautiful future for our students. So I'm going to hear from, who's our first person? Oh, wait, I thought there were names on it. Oh, it's not the old version. It's okay. Who did we say first? Nathaniel. I'm going to invite up Nathaniel. He's our school treasurer.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Olida. I am an ASB officer for New Vista Middle School. Before I begin, I would like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to come to this podium and speak before the people that made this whole event possible and slowly made all the schools in this district a better place. As a student, going to this event was definitely fun. One of the takeaways of the event had to be being able to hear what other schools have done. For example, what Eastside has done with their students, like their pep rallies. Another takeaway of the event is being able to learn about the future skills of ASB and how we can figure out what to do with our future. If we do decide to work with ASB in high school or beyond, our next steps are to follow on all the groups of students and include them in our events, like a movie night we're planning or our future pep rallies. And last but most definitely not least, fundraising to support school events. We plan to sell snacks and drinks at our home sport games. We are also helping other clubs on campus fundraise for their specific causes. I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to everyone who came to this event. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Angelica Puerta.
Hello, my name is Angelica. I'm an ASB representative. I would like to thank you for lending me this opportunity to speak here today. During the conference, I got to learn many things like how to be inclusive to everyone, how to make better events for the students, and new ideas that would be fun for everyone to do. One of the sessions I attended was the Inclusive and Kind with the ASB director, Wendy Bell. She taught us how to be inclusive to everyone and events that would include everyone. even the quiet kids. During the session, she had us learn a cheer that we could say when our team was winning. But something that she said that stood out to me was that we shouldn't say this cheer when the opposite team was losing really bad, because then their self-esteem would go down, and that wouldn't be so nice. A favorite part of mine from the conference was talking to the high schoolers from Eastside High School, because they were really easy to talk to and overall just fun to talk to. They told us why they joined ASB, what type of events they do, and told us the difference between high school and ASB and middle school ASB, which was really helpful. I would like to thank you again for giving me this opportunity to be here tonight. And thank you for everyone who came here tonight. Have a good night.
Next up is Delilah Campos.
Hello, my name is Delilah Campos, and I'm an ASB/Plus Leadership Representative at New Vista Middle School. Recently, our ASB leadership class has went to a conference at Parkview with neighboring schools. It was a fantastic experience for ASB classes and myself. I thought it was awesome to be able to suggest this idea and watch it become reality. This is promoting positive school culture because after listening and talking and taking in the ideas I heard, it made me want to use them myself. One of the biggest ideas that meant a lot was how to be more inclusive. I feel that we have done a good job being inclusive. After hearing another point of view, it changed my perspective. Our next steps are to focus on having more events and being more inclusive. I know we're sending Valentine grams. As of right now, that's the biggest thing we're working on. Now, this event is exclusive to every grade and every gender at the school. Thank you for listening to our suggestions about the conference and making it reality. It was an unbelievable experience. The fact that it was the first and will now be annual is one of the hugest things ever. Thank you for your time and dedication to us students. I hope that you have a good night and take what I said to heart.
Next up is Kylie Williams, who's also our cheer captain.
Hello, my name is Kylie Williams, and I am an ASB Leadership Student Representative at New Vista. Recently, our ASB Leadership class has went to a conference at here Parkview, and we went to 3 different sessions where we learned 3 different things. Some at different rooms, like room 15, 14, and 13. Some in the gym and some in this exact room. This is promoting positive student culture because we learned a lot during this new event because when COVID happened, we didn't really get to do anything and we couldn't really be at school as much. But now we're at school and we get to do new things and do new events and get to see the world again. Our next step to focus on is making our school a better place and a place where more kids want to go to. At our school, some kids don't really want to come to school because they think, oh, school is boring and school is like this school is bad and stuff. But in ASB, we want to make our school a better place to where kids want to come and where kids think it's fun and they want to come every day 24/7. Thank you for having us at this meeting and letting me speak today. Thank you for your time and dedication to us students. I hope that we learn more from this meeting and that we can learn new things. Thank you.
And finally, we have Maximus Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Maximus Rodriguez, and I am an ASB/Plus student representative at New Vista. Recently, our ASB Plus leadership class has gone on a conference with neighboring schools. This is promoting positive school culture because all of the schools came and they were representing their schools by wearing clothes that represented them. Our next steps to focus on is to help clean up our school because we have a problem with litter on our campus. Thank you for letting me speak to you and having a moment of your time. And thank you for your time and dedication to us as a student. I hope that I will be able to learn more from all of you.
Thank you, Ms. David, and thank you, students. Now we want to ask Dr. Marietti to come on down so we can go ahead and say thank you. Those who want to come down up, let me read. Are you? Okay.
Well, first I want to say, I also want to acknowledge Kevin and
Alicia Casey.
I kept calling her Alicia Keys. Alicia Casey,
Unfortunately.
Alicia and Kevin, who did an amazing job. All I did was say, go ahead and do it. And they just ran with it. And I just totally in awe of them and the hard work they did. And also Dr. Goins and everyone else who put on, clinic for everybody about what it means to be an ASB and what the power of ASB has and what children can do. They're leaders, and that's what I told them when I had the opportunity to stand up and speak. Is these are our leaders, and these are the people that will encourage and bring everybody else around, so that they do find our school a safe place, a caring place, a loving place, a connected place. So that's what we're shooting for, and I look forward to this standing up there and doing the second annual one and doing the 15th annual one, and we just keep going and keep growing and keep doing better and better. So congratulations to everybody.
All right. So it's award time, certificates. So we want to say thank you to our middle school ASB directors and leadership teacher who helped plan and prepare for this event. So we have Stephanie Faber and Elizabeth Reddish from Endeavor. Come on down. That's Elizabeth. You can give her Stephanie's too. Elizabeth Murphy from Amargosa Creek, who is busy at the basketball tournament today. We have Rebecca Topper from Paiute. All right. Aman Khalil from Linda Verde. And then we also want to recognize Caitlin David again from New Vista, who was the lead on this event and who went above and beyond to ensure students had engaging sessions, conference materials, and the food the students wanted. Caitlin, I'll tell you why. Sorry, I'll tell you why later. We also want to say thank you to our presenters, Giovanni Christian Pope, who is also our keynote speaker. Giovanni presented on his experience as a youth leader in Lancaster and on types of organizations students can become involved in to make a real change in our community. Jill Culver, she was a saint. She stepped in at the last minute, did 3 sessions for us about joining more leadership groups and incorporating leadership opportunities into our district's Capturing Kids' Hearts program. Again, Kaylin David, who also led sessions on ASB meeting rules and protocol and dress code. Thank you again, Caitlin. And then we partnered with the high school district. And so we have Wendy Bell from Highland High School. She did sessions that gave ideas to students on how to include and recognize more students on their campus. We have Lindsay Rouser Squires from Eastside High School. And she brought with her Eastside High School students, did a roundtable discussion with our middle school students on providing mentorship and shared experiences from the high school ASB, advice about ASB leadership, and how students can be involved in leadership at the high school level. So we have Ivory Moreno, Rhiannon Jacobo, Jason Ruvalacaba, Jasmine Barajas, Kimberly Hernandez, Melissa Bacara, and Dayanara Torres. Thank you. Thank you guys for representing. We also have The board members, we want to say thank you to you and our district administrators who are part of our student focus groups. And thank you to Dr. Jordan Goins. Come on up. Students participated in small focus groups where they shared their opinions on the district's core values, their experiences on campus, and their vision for what they want our schools to be like. Last but not least, definitely not least, we want to say thank you to our New Vista middle school students who helped prepare and set up for the event. Maximus Rodriguez, Angelica Puerta, Nathaniel Olide, did I say it right? Olide, thank you, Nathaniel. Liliana Green, Elena Zago, Jonathan De La Torre, Annalise Chavez, and Josue Alvarado. Thank you, everyone, for your support with our first leadership conference. All right, thank you very much. You guys can bow if you want to. Thank you.
Guys can get signed autograph pictures with the tiger later. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for all your hard work. It looks like it was a great event. Appreciate you guys all being a part of that. Okay, I guess next we have our enrollment report when she gets back. Got to switch hats from photographer to demographer.
Too many cool photo opportunities there.
Yes, it was cool. I got one with them around the podium.
So as of today, in our UTK through 8th grade, we have 14,093 students. In ECE, we have 686 students for a grand total of 14,779 students. This is a gain of 65 from our last board report and a gain of 64 from the same time last year. Additionally, we have 889 homeless students in our district and 529 foster students.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we have an informational item about the cancellation of the March 21st board meeting.
Due to the coincidence of our spring break holiday, we would like to cancel the board meeting on March 21st.
Okay, I'd like to say I'm very sad about that, but I'm really not. So we'll move on to presentations, reports, proposals, and reports.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, informational only. All right, so I guess we have standards-based grading and reporting with Krista Thompson, and there she comes. All right. Thanks, Krista, in advance.
Well, thank you. Good evening. I'm Krista Thompson, Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. And with me this evening, I've brought Dave Nagel, a Corwin consultant and expert on everything standards-based grading and reporting. I'm here tonight, we are here tonight to give you an update on our progress towards our standards-based grading and reporting endeavor. If you recall last year, about a year and a half ago, I came to you and presented to you our 3-year plan for implementing standards-based grading and reporting. And so this evening, I want to give you an update on that progress so far. Hey, that works. So just a quick review. What is standards-based grading? It is a researched and evidence-based method for ensuring that our students and our parents and our families have feedback based on, for our students to have feedback based on their progress towards mastery of the standards. We need to know in real time how students are doing on their grade level standards and their progress towards mastering those. And so we implement standards-based grading to do that. The goal of this 3-year plan is kind of two-pronged. We're going to attack the grading system in terms of providing the feedback to students so that they know where they're at in their progress towards those skills and concepts that they need to know and understand. And the reporting system is how we let families and parents know how their students are doing, what support they may need, and where they're at in that process, simply put. You might recognize this slide from a year and a half ago because I know you have very good memories. Thank you. Thank you for the laugh. When I brought this to you last year, we were introducing the plan, and we said last spring we were going to form a committee and start our training of this process. This year, our committee has been very hard at work. Last spring and all of this year, we've been very hard at work in coming to some agreements and beginning to develop a pilot report card. And then with the intention of piloting that report card next year with full implementation then in the fall of 2024. So this year we are building that report card. So what have we done so far? First of all, our committee. We put together an excellent committee. I do want to commend our committee and say publicly, the committee that we put together are people who volunteered for this work. They are dedicating long evening hours to this work, these conversations and these decisions, and I am extremely proud of this process. This is not an easy task. There's a lot of passion and emotion involved with this process, so they've done an outstanding job of coming together, being open-minded, learning together, and making some open-minded and knowledge-based decisions. So shout out to our committee. On our committee, we have approximately 50 members, give or take. We've got representatives from all walks of life. We have all elementary and middle school teachers are represented, all grade levels, all sites. We have classified representatives, secretary, paraeducator. We have some district technology experts on our team so that they can help us with technology. We've got counselors, coaches. We have some family and community members, site and district administrators, and of course, our esteemed Dave Nagel, who is our Corwin consultant who is supporting and facilitating this work and guiding us in this work that we're doing. What we've done so far, I could have gone on for days, so I tried to put this in just a few bullets here. We've trained the committee. We've done some training on it with our committee members on what is the meaning of grades, what are effective grading practices, what is teacher clarity and the role that plays in this process. We've come to some general agreements on some basic agreements about kind of guiding foundational agreements about what we want the report card to mean and look like. For example, we do not want letter grades A, B, C, D, F. We want to make sure that this is true standards-based grading, and you'll get a sense of what that looks like here in just a second. We captured a lot of questions that we figured teachers and parents and community members would have, and so we've created a FAQ basically to help answer some of the basic questions around standards-based grading. We've done a lot of work in breaking down the essential standards for meaning, what it means, what are the skills and concepts that kids need to know in each grade level. And then we've also looked at other standards-based report cards from other districts for examples and models of what to do. And we've also, if you recall, we're no stranger to a standards-based report card. Prior to COVID, we had a standards-based report card in TK through 5th grade. So we have some good, strong foundational pieces to work with as we build this at a K-8 level. Okay. And we have made some initial decisions. I'm so proud of this. We're making some initial decisions. So here are a few of the decisions that we've made so far. We have landed on academic achievement level descriptors, which is basically the mark that we use to indicate achievement level in the standards. We have K through 8th grade, K through 8th grade learner behavior descriptors, because in a standards-based report card, if you recall, we are reporting on how students are doing in their skills and concepts and the standards that they're learning. But you also have to include their work habits, their behaviors that go into that. That's a separate grade. So we've blended on some descriptors for that. There's still a lot more to go with this, but these are the foundational pieces here. We've established some achievement scales, and I'm going to let Dave talk about this here in just a second. And then for K through 6th grade, we've also landed on some indicators for those learner behaviors, such as citizenship, self-directed learner, community contributor, quality producer, and digital citizenship. I'm going to turn the mic over to Dave for just a minute, let him kind of explain a few things with regard to this slide.
Thank you, Krista. And I love to have the opportunity to work with the board. I can tell you, I work with probably 30 to 40 districts every year. I've been doing this for about 15 years. I'm on the road about 120 days a year. Just to give you a perspective. And I don't know if I've seen the level of implementation and leadership planning that I did with Krista from the start. This is an emotional topic, and it's an emotional topic because all of us went to school at some point in time. The purpose is not to create something new. The purpose is to create what we know has always worked, which is more effective feedback. And as a parent of a middle school, high school, and elementary student, I would like to know the difference between they really don't understand science or they're not following directions, collaborating with their peers, and behaving. And those are separate entities. At the same time, we still need to work somewhat in a numeric system. We need that for our guidance. So we've still set that up. And so this is very similar because this will be a bigger shift for middle school folks. And I was a middle school teacher. It will be a bigger shift, but they need something to keep track of where the progress of the students are. A big element that we've sort of introduced with the committee, and I actually spoke back in September when we had our district professional development on those numbers are somewhat irrelevant if we're not examining the rigor level of the tasks. So we could be scoring very, very high on tests that are below grade level, and that shouldn't get us to thorough understanding and application, but that might be a starting point if a student is struggling. And so one thing that is very powerful about a model like this, it allows all students to be able to demonstrate progress and then get the feedback that is needed for them and their parents, but even more importantly, that we can be more intentional when they need this feedback and support or when they need reteaching and intervention. So the element is not that we have something that is just different to be different. It's so that we increase the quality of our formative assessment and feedback that goes from student to teacher, teacher to student, and obviously with parents as well.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, and so these decisions that we made are just a very small piece of the puzzle. We have a lot of work left to do. So we have more decisions to make as a committee and some things to think about. So we need to determine the exact reporting standards for each grade level. That's coming up very soon. We have another meeting tomorrow night. This is going to be part of our process tomorrow evening. We need to determine the structure of the report card, if we're going to report out on each and every individual standard, or if we're going to cluster them. There's a lot that goes into this. We're going to develop some grading guidelines and training for all teachers, because this is not just, we're not going to just throw a report card out and say, best of luck, folks, thanks for playing. We need to have some guidance and some training and some practice in what this looks like. It's a shift. It's a dynamic shift. We're going to we're going to develop a family report card guide. So just like we're going to work with teachers, we need to educate and get feedback and hear concerns from parents and community as well. So that is definitely a part of the process. We're going to schedule listening posts with families to get their questions, listen to what their concerns are, and address some concerns that we know that they will probably have. And we're going to discuss how we're addressing special education. That's still a very important topic for us to discuss. Intervention, elective classes, and English language development on the report card. Very important pieces that we need to consider for what that looks like on the report card. We will be creating the report card, the pilot report card, for the remainder of this year. Right now, currently, we are looking at a product that works with Power School to help us create an actual report card on the front side that looks nice, but does everything we need it to do to communicate effectively to our families. And then on the back end, we're investigating what kind of language needs to be on the back end of the report card, because this is not just a report card. It starts with the teacher and the input into the grade book. And that has to speak to an algorithm and a program in the grade book that speaks to the report card. And that's all done by us. We've got to figure out what that language is and what that looks like. So those are deep conversations. Obviously, we need to do communication. We need to communicate with families. We need to communicate with teachers, administrators, and students. They're a very important role in this. Year 3 is next year, and that will be our pilot year. Our teachers who are on the committee will be our pilot teachers to use this report card, work out the kinks, see where the holes are, communicate with the families of those students of the pilot teachers so that they can be our test pilot parents and families. And then year 4 is the beginning of 2024 school year where we roll this out full scale. So that's where we are in the middle of year 2, and I welcome any questions.
Well, thank you. Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's not a traditional A through F grading scale. And those numbers that you see are an algorithm on the back end for calculating assignments. So it's just when we put an assignment into the grade book, there has to be a numeric equivalent to what that puts out in terms of the thorough understanding, adequate understanding. So it's a way of, and you feel free to jump in. I'm going to let Dave jump in.
No, it's
It's a very good question, a very good catch. I wonder if we want to go back
Sure.
to that slide. And again, I'm not putting words of where that question came from, but it's come up before. And my quick metaphor is when we take other examples like sports, let's say you have a quarterback that goes 27 for 35. That's very, very good completion rate. That'd be 77%. We'd call that a C. But because the rigor of the task is so difficult, we say that's very good. And we've been programmed to have this, respectfully, most of us, 90, 80, 70, 60, to think that that's the number. But when the tasks are more rigorous and difficult, we should give our students more of an opportunity to learn from their mistakes and be challenged. So it's not lowering the standard. If anything, it's raising the standard. But it's making sure that we're going to put rigorous tasks in front of our students and know, just like in athletics, just like in performing arts, they're going to make mistakes. So that number needs to be a counselor, not a jailer. Not 74, you don't have it, 75, you do. But as Krista said, there needs to be something on the back end. The purpose was not to lower it, but to provide more of an opportunity when students are making progress towards their skills and standards throughout the course of the semester, that there's more of an opportunity that they tried rigorous tasks, for example. 75 is just the guide. So I didn't know if that was addressing your question, but it's a very fair question and the kind of question that we want to make sure we communicate thoroughly in the supplementary document and with our teachers, so that way we increase the rigor of tasks and know that still gives the student an opportunity to get possibly the highest grade over time. So long-winded answer to a very, very important question.
Thank you. Anybody else? Board members?
I
Greg?
have Krista, how does this, the grading system, I think I understand, but how does that apply with the CAS and the iReady?
If I understand your question, so that's actually a very good question. What we're looking at here is, so in a standards-based grading system, you're not going to necessarily count every assignment the child ever does. Really, what you want to look at is at what point have they mastered or will they master a standard? That is dictated or determined by the assessments that they're given in the class. What we've done is, of course, CASP and iReady are not a grade that goes into the grade book,
Right.
but it is an indication of how students are performing on the standards. And what we are seeing very clearly, and one of the biggest reasons for this work, is that our grading system right now is not reflective of what our students know and are able to do. So our CASP scores and our iReady scores are not indicative of the A's and the B's that we're giving out. So we want our reporting system to reflect what our kids know and are able to do. So those should match up much more closely once the system is in place. Did that address your question?
Yes, thank you.
Greg, go ahead.
I would just recommend that if we could keep the A, B, C, D, F for the core subjects, and then maybe add the standards next to that so they can see how they're doing with the standards. But I think the parents understand the A, B, C, D, F scoring system a lot better because that's what they've grown up and that's what they're used to. But that's my opinion.
I appreciate that, Mr. TP. One of the things that I will just offer is, first of all, we have in our TK through fifth grade, we've already moved to the standards-based grading. And so parents are not unfamiliar with our standards-based grading system and what that represents. But this is a shift. And if we are to continue with the A, B, C, D, F, what will get lost in that is the meaning behind that. Because if we equate an A to mastery of the standards, but a C to a no evidence of understanding or a partial understanding, it doesn't mean the same thing. That's why those skills are so important in there as well. It's in terms of how we measure the rigor of the assignment and their level of understanding. And the A, B, C, D, F that we have grown up with is not the same thing. It's not equivalent. So it will be some re-educating for sure. Anyway, sorry.
Anybody else? Anybody? Okay. All right. You guys, everybody got your questions answered out there too? Okay. All right. I guess we'll thank you. Very informative. Appreciate your hard work. And I skipped over, there wasn't anything else on the informational items, was there? Okay, we're moving along. Item 13, we have individual action items from the superintendent. We have the approval of the vote for candidates for the 2023 CSBA Delegate Assembly election. Looking for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Teepee and seconded by Mr. Nguyen. Questions, concerns, clarifications? Go ahead, Diane.
So there are three seats and three
Incumbents.
incumbents. So they're, in essence, we are voting for the incumbents.
You're going for the status quo, yes.
Okay. Well, if the
On this
status quo, if the status quo works, that's good.
Yeah. I think they actually all do a good job. I work with them all. They're all actually hardworking, fair. They've got kids at best interest at heart. So I would recommend them. So now that we have, anybody else have questions about them? All right. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay. I'll pass that on to them when I see them. Individual action items number 14, we have adoption of resolution 2022-23 supporting preschool, transitional kindergarten, and full day kindergarten facilities grant program. Preschool.
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Diane, second by Dwayne. Questions, concerns?
Mr. Giles, you're going to see three very similar resolutions. Each one represents a different type of classroom. So preschool, transitional kindergarten, and full day kindergarten. So we're going for the full gamut in terms of applying for state matching funds to build new Title V compliant early learning classrooms.
Very good. Any other questions or clarifications? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, and we have item B. It's adopts a resolution 2022-23-24 supporting preschool, transitional kindergarten, and full day kindergarten facilities grant program, transitional kindergarten. Need a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Teepee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Any clarifications? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, and this last one, it's got the same thing, but we're going to go with full day kindergarten. So this is a adoption of resolution 2022-23-25 supporting preschool, transitional kindergarten, and full day kindergarten facilities grant program for full day kindergarten. Anybody want a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Dwayne and second by Pamela Starlson. Okay, very good. Anybody got questions or clarifications? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Individual action items, human resources. We have approval of accounting supervisor
Tracy Peck.
Do we want to have a motion and second and then discussion? Okay. Anybody want a motion?
So moved.
Mr. TP Solutions.
Second?
Second by Ms. Rose. Sorry. And now.
So we're pleased to be presenting to the board tonight the approval of Tracy Peck as the accounting supervisor. She currently works as the account clerk 5 in CNS and has served in that position very well. Her current supervisor speaks very highly of her. And it's always exciting when we open a position to the outside and inside and end up finding the excellent candidate inside our district. So we bring Tracy Peck to you this evening and are thrilled to recommend her as our next accounting supervisor.
Okay, thank you. All right, should we take a vote? Is she here?
Yes.
Should we vote first before, in case, anything goes south? Okay, well, let's take a vote real quick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay.
So Tracy, I'll ask that you stand up, and if you have anybody with you this evening, introduce them to us.
Daughter takes Peck.
All right.
Student. President Stahl. Student.
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. Ice cream might be in order. I'm, not saying, you have to, but too cold. It's never too cold for ice cream. Come on. It's never too cold for ice cream. Just eat it in a warm building. Okay, we have addressing the board. Individuals who wish to address the board may complete a speaker card and present it and any supporting documents to the deputy superintendent or other district official prior to the start of the meeting. Personal information such as student/parent/guardian's name, address, phone number, date of birth, email address, or other directory information as defined in Education Code 49061 may be excluded from the minutes of the meeting by submitting a written request to the superintendent. The board president shall recognize individuals who wish to speak. Individuals wishing to present testimony to the board concerning specific items on the agenda may do so once that item has been moved, seconded, and is on the floor for discussion. Time limits of 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per item shall be allowed. Board members may ask questions for clarification purposes. However, no action may be taken and no discussion may take place on item not posted on the agenda. And now we'll take comments from PTA. CSEA. Cal? Okay, seeing none. Comments from the audience.
We had one speaker card for Mrs. Carla Galvan, but I believe she has left the building.
Carlo going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay. All right. She comes back in the next 30 seconds. We'll come back to it. Consent agenda items, superintendent items 17A through 17D. Anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Diane, seconded by Dwayne. Questions, concerns, clarifications, shout outs?
Yes, a shout out to the Church of Latter-day Saints for the donations they have made to the Welcome and Wellness Center. I think this last Saturday with the giveaway they did of the shoes and everything, and the one that's upcoming, are any indications of how important these donations are. You just need to go and see it for yourself. And then you would also say a hearty thank you to all of these.
All right, very good. Anything else? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, we're going to move on to item 18. Consent agenda items, business items 18A through 18F.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Teepee.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nguyen. Questions, concerns, clarifications? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Excuse me, guys. Choking on my own breath. Consent agenda item 19. Consent agenda items, educational services items 19A through 19J.
With the adjustment on.
Oh, yes. And on item B, Endeavor will be presenting their school plans. Next agenda? Okay. So with that, I need a motion.
So moved.
All right. I think Dwayne got you, and then Pamela. Man, I'm sorry, Pamela. You are out of my hearing area. So Pamela made the motion, and I think Greg seconded. Go with that one. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. Any questions, concerns, clarifications? Everybody read all those plans?
Yeah.
74 pages per plan, usually around there.
Easily.
I had the chance to see the BMX freestyle, and it's an amazing show. They really bring the kids in and encourage them, give them a positive message. So glad to see that it's happening at some schools. Yeah.
They do magic stuff with bicycles, don't they?
I'll say.
All right. Anything else? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay. We are on item 20. Consent agenda items, human resource services, items 20A through 20D.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nguyen.
Second.
All right. Second by Mrs. Starlson. Questions, concerns, clarifications?
Way to go, Mike.
Or shout outs? Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0, even with Mike's help. Okay. Item 21, We have consent agenda items, innovation and technology services, items 21A through 21C.
Motion?
Mrs. Grooms,
Second.
second by Mr. Nguyen. Questions, clarifications? Shout outs?
Maybe it was a good thing they changed it. Who in it? Who knew it?
Who knew it? Yeah.
All right. I know she's she's aching to give you any kind of explanation about anything, but everybody's good? Pamela, you good? All right. All right. Stand down. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right. We have legislative and policy discussion. We have second readings, a bunch of them. So if you don't like it, speak up now or forever hold your peace. Anybody? Everything good? Okay. All right. I guess we'll move on to comments from the board and superintendent. Pamela, I'll start with you over there.
You would.
You have everything to talk about. You can't go wrong. It's the easiest position to be in.
Oh,
You'll thank me later.
well, I attended the ASB conference, had a wonderful, wonderful time interacting with all the students face to face. It was pretty awesome. I think that it was pretty nice to get a lot of their opinions about what they thought leadership was and the ideals that they were taking from each of the classes that they were attending, the different classes. I had an opportunity to go around to each area, all the rooms that they talked about, especially just sitting there and just listening to the kids, like their opinions up on the dress code, in which we discussed a couple meetings back about changing the dress code. And you would have thought that they were going to be like really crazy about it, but they were very, very sensible about what they thought was acceptable and unacceptable. So I had a really good time with that. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you. Mr. Nguyen.
Well, I agree with Pamela. The ASB conference was fantastic. I have to hand it to Alicia and to Kaylin for putting that together. Thank you, Dr. Marietti, for allowing that to happen. The dress code issue was quite a different breakout. They really got into the fact of why they accept the do-rags or the why they don't accept tube tops. And they got into that. And the kids, the students were just awesome. Well, you can't have some of that. They were explaining it in a very determined manner. And so that, I went to that breakout. I went to the one Kaylin put on about the explaining what ASB is about, how to operate, how to function, how to make a motion, how to make how to pass a resolution. And I asked a question, and they said, Mr. Nguyen, this isn't like your board members. We are here just to approve it or not approve it. So I thought, okay. But that's how well they understood the different parts of the ASB. And Kaylin should be very proud of what she put together for the students. So Alicia, you and Kaylin, congratulations. We're in a plus. Rebecca, we're in a plus for the week since the last meeting. I'm glad to see that. I hadn't written down from the previous meeting. Is the homeless and foster going up or going down?
That depends on the enrollment of the kids right at today. So that's the numbers today. So sometimes because homeless and foster kids move in and out a lot, those numbers will fluctuate.
Now, do we count the farm workers
We do.
differently?
Yeah, they're considered migrant children.
Right.
We don't have a large number of those, but we do have some of those children in our school district.
Because I was to understand from a CSBA report that migrant workers that report to the district this year, maybe, they have to move 50 miles.
I
For the next
saw that
year.
report too. I've never heard that before, but yeah.
Very
It was
much sense
interesting,
at all. And Dr. Marietta, do you have anything about that? Because
We used to have a large migrant population in Santa Paula, and migrant students have certain rights in regards to their curriculum. I believe that you had a special curriculum called a PASS curriculum, which they could carry with them, so they could take it to their next. But these were children who, their families migrate for work, so they spend a season with us, and then to be considered migrant, they do another season in another location. So.
that's what they're getting at. But maybe, I wasn't sure. But other than that, thank you. That's all I have, Keith.
All right. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I'd like to say congratulations to Tracy Peck for her promotion. It's always great to find the jewels right in amongst your own staff and to be able to recognize them with advancement. That's great. The grading standards presentation rang especially true to me for a reason that goes way back. And you said, Greg, your parents understand the ABC, whatever. Well, for me, it was talks too much, but it never said I turned in all my work. So I still talk too much.
Did your work.
But I do understand the differentiation, and I think we have to really educate our parents about that. Having worked in the nonprofit sector, it's amazing the fallout that some of those report cards put on children by their relatives. So it's very important that they understand that change. And so I thank you for doing the work and doing it so thoroughly with such a large team. So thank you for that. And the student body leadership training was just so great. And to hear their feedback tonight of what resonated with them that they didn't expect would make a change in how they thought or how they approach things. It was an excellent opportunity for them. And I think they recognize that it's a responsibility and they have a duty to include as many students as possible in their work and in their activities. So I like that acceptance of the responsibility. And then great on all of the grants that you folks have been applying for and are continuing to apply for that help with our student achievement and catch-up learning. I really do appreciate all the work that goes into that. Being a grant writer, I understand that probably better than most folks. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Greg?
Likewise. Great to see the work on the report card, getting all the input from all the different parties. That's super important, and making sure it's working for everybody. And the ASB conference is fantastic, especially since like some of those kids have said, with COVID, they haven't been able to do some of those activities. So it's super excited to see all the middle schools working together. And bringing in the high school district, I thought that was really important because that helped with the kids get the transition and start to think about that. And so great work all around. I think that's fantastic. So good job to everybody.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Marietta.
Well, I'm going to just obviously acknowledge the hard work Alicia and Kaylin did. Like I said, we just say yes, and they ran with it. And so this is something that we want to continue to do year after year after year. So I'm excited about that. I also had an opportunity to go out to Mariposa and walk classrooms with Code to the Future. And that's an amazing program that we have in place. And I just want to commend Eric Gold and his team, the teachers over at Mariposa. I also want to commend Rose Juarez and the Welcome and Wellness Center for the event they put on Saturday. They had a shoe giveaway, but in addition to shoes, we had coats and we had toys, and we were able to provide these much needed things to our community. And we definitely have a lot of needs in our community. So for us to have that ability to serve our community in that way, I think just was wonderful. We even got a 15 seconds on Channel 7 News. Anybody caught that? If you recorded that, could I have that? Anybody? That one. That'd be great. And I also want to just thank Joshua, Nancy, Corey, and Mariposa for stepping up to breakfast in the classroom, and to Debbie Candelaria, not Nancy Candelaria, Debbie Candelaria, for a wonderful job she's doing there. We are excited. I went out and saw a lot of these kids, and they're excited. They're excited to come to school. They're excited about having breakfast. Tardies have been reduced, and so we're looking for a lot of positive things to come out of breakfast in the classroom, and we want to grow that program. And so that's something. And then just going around the district and being able to go to classrooms and see great teaching. There's 2 teachers. I went to see Mr. Gates at Monte Vista, and what a wonderful teacher. Just a great command of his class. And also Mr. Burden over at Mariposa too. Wonderful teachers doing extraordinary things, and they represent a multitude of teachers we have that are working hard, diligently in the classroom with students who are behind because of COVID, and they've taken on that extra burden of bringing them up to standards. So, and grade level. So thank you so much for everything you do, and everybody. I think Lancaster is definitely going in the right direction.
Thank you. Fun fact, I have a kid in Mr. Gates' class. And I had kids in Mr. Burton class. So, man, maybe I do have kids everywhere. You just never know. But it's been fun. And this has been a good meeting. I really did appreciate the ASB presentation. Those ladies will they knock it out of the park every time. Even I did what's called Girls on the Run thing with them. That was fun, and that's back when I could run. So I actually ran with them for a while, but that's over. But I still going to support them. Thank you for all the information we've got tonight. Congratulations to our new employee, her new position, I guess. We just moved some of our great employees around. I also wanted to mention that we had a good time at the LACSTA and the ABSBA school board meetings. Both were really informative and good. I guess with that, I will adjourn. Taking a motion at 7:06. Moved by Mr. Nguyen. Second by Mr. TP. Anybody want to? Yeah, let's just all in favor. Aye. Okay. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Nobody ever argues that one. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Woo! Have a nice night.
I see the CNS